all tabs open
He is.
kind of person.
I don't think he closes anything ever. I think it's just, it makes it easier just to get to things fast.
All right, I'll close Outlook.
Oh, gee.
All right. In fact, Susan Hector has a note for this, so.
The only person has got 2 layers of things, of open apps, right?
Thomas Paging, please come to the front office. Thomas Paging, to the front office, please.
You can do a real quick restart and
No, I'm not going to do that.
quit all the stuff there, right?
I was going to try to get this YouTube shot. Oh, that's right. I don't have internet.
Do you need internet?
I can get it off my phone.
Okay.
Cool. Should be here.
What's up, guys? Hey, hey.
Yeah, make sure everybody signs in.
What's going on? Doing well, man. How are you doing?
Okay. I'm glad we finally got something set up.
You know?
It's good.
Patience, right? It just takes a while.
It took about
Few years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Several
man.
years.
Lucas and such.
You met Mr. Richards, right?
I did.
So he's a multimedia instructor. I'm the senior
Come on
naval
in, guys.
science
Sign your
instructor.
initials that
So
are here.
I run the naval science department.
Okay.
And I'm working with them on SMPTE.
It's funny to hear people spell it like list it out. We just call it SMPTE.
Welcome in.
All right.
I know everybody's
Fun
gonna be
stuff.
an excellent guest, but we're gonna be very respectful during the process. All 4th period.
It's good. How are
No
you?
use of cell phone during the process.
What's your name? Jason?
Jaden.
John. Hey,
Talk to Niall.
Yeah.
what's your name?
My name is Terrence. Nice to
I'm
meet
sorry?
you. My name is Terrence. My name is Terrence.
Okay,
Hi, Terrence.
very good. John.
What's up, guys? Shane. Yeah, nice to meet you. All right. Hope you guys have good questions. Or bad ones. I like good ones or bad ones. Either way. I'm good either way. So the further you are from the front, the more questions I ask you. No, I'm just
We have some people filling on.
Oh no, wait till we get to. Oh, you want to?
No, because I'm just getting a
We
photo
can
of
get into
you.
some
Make sure you
photos.
can see the screen.
If you can't read this, can you see that? Right on.
Welcome in.
I'll just go over here.
We're here.
You need something.
Nah, this is good. Oh yeah. I was gonna stand up on the table, but I figured you guys wouldn't like that. You know, that's it.
Were you going to be here first?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the thing. This is my prep period, so I keep here the whole period. And then during lunch too, so you don't need to worry about the other things.
Hey, Ryan? Ryan, I will send the PowerPoint to you and to Ralph.
Okay.
And that way, if any student said, oh, I didn't catch that, I wanted
How's
to
it
get
going?
that link or something like
Good.
that.
I'm Shane.
Hi, I'm
They
Model.
can get that
Model?
info.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm the PR manager for the district.
Okay.
Okay.
And I wanted to take some pictures and learn more about what was going on here today.
Sign it away. There we go.
Hi.
John from
Well, we'll
Advanced
do that at the
Systems
end,
Group,
right?
SMPTE membership director.
Yay.
You're little label is going every which
yeah,
way
they won't
but
let me
right,
in.
you know?
Jacket material.
I'm already in, so I think I'm okay. Let's see, do I have any card? Yeah, I have a card for you.
Great. Thank you so much.
The PR fun stuff.
Yeah, I get to do the fun stuff.
Fantastic.
I grew up in PR.
How are you? Good to see you too.
Do you have a
Oh, okay.
Do you have a
put my
local
cards.
access channel for Vallejo?
We don't. I know there was one here at Bethel some time ago.
What county is Vallejo? Is it Vallejo County? Solano County. Okay, I have to look.
Oh, there it
I know
is.
Contra Costa very well.
There it is.
I could connect you to Contra Costa.
Thank you.
There you go.
Great. I just heard about this and what you guys are doing here today,
All right.
so I'm excited to learn more and hopefully write a little story about it. So I might reach out to you after and get a little extra information.
Sounds like a
I'm
plan.
gonna take some pictures for now.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll sign the little India or the little release.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take it with Shane. I'll take a
Okay.
picture. Yeah.
Gorgonzola. No.
All right. Thank you.
Go.
All right, all the people facing that way, face this way. Come on, man.
Turn those
There you go.
chairs.
Turn the chairs. We'll have some fun today and chit chat about some things. You guys got some questions today? Hopefully, thought of some stuff.
We'll wait after the presentation.
All right. Well,
Feel free to ask us questions.
oh, we will. No, we will. Actually, you probably won't. We probably won't ask questions because it. Yeah. Here, introduce John first. You know, like. Yeah, Shane. Shane. Just say Jerry. Like Jerry. There you go. Yeah, SMPTE. So I'm the chair.
And also
I'm Dolby Labs, yeah. I'm the lead creative of Dolby Labs. Yeah. Not Adobe, Dolby. Not Adobe. Oh, this one, right? The double D.
I'll go here.
There you go.
Sort of organized. One more photo. I want to be in the picture. Cool.
All right.
welcome to the SMPTE guest speaker event, everyone. This is our guest speaker. This is John Shike from
Advanced Systems
Advanced
Group.
Systems Group, and this is Shane from Dolby Laboratories, and also the San Francisco SMPTE section.
Right on.
So I'm going to get us started here. So what I do is I did a couple of slides. Hopefully I can find my PowerPoint. Let's see, where is it? Somewhere in here. I'm going to do this.
Look how many things he's got on.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
It's
my
kind of busy.
God.
Yeah.
He actually knows every single one of those, right? Like, imagine
try that
knowing
one.
every single one of those. I'm like,
There we go.
all right.
Okay, so SMPTE is, we're media professionals in general. So we're both interested in the art and also the science of digital media, okay? I'm an account manager at a company called Advanced Systems Group. We do system integration and other projects with video and film systems. And then I'm a membership director at SMPTE as well. And so SMPTE is designed as an organization, as a society, to be inclusive, global. We're all volunteers, essentially, except for a small group of staff back in New York. And we're diverse, technology people, developing people, like computer scientists, if you will, and creative people. So advancing the art, the science and technology, enabling the future of motion picture television and digital media. And so how that has happened, if you go back 110 years or so, the problem with film at the beginning is film was all celluloid. And the problem was, how do I make a film and be able to put it on any projector anywhere in the world? And so having to locate the position of things like the sprocket holes was really essential. So that kind of compatibility to make equipment interoperable, to make systems interoperable, so that you could take a movie, make it here, and show it there, that was kind of the history of SMPTE. And then as television came along, we had to develop other things. So with the invention of color television, the problem is the color from the camera to TV set to another TV set through the production process had to be consistent. So we developed color bars. And then basically video it's 30 frames per second, right? So each frame needs to be labeled. So this labeling system that we call time code was developed by SMPTE. And again, there's lots of different companies that are involved in all of these things. They could all come up with their own system. We wanted a system that was consistent for all the companies to use. And that's the reason for standards. And SMPTE helps to develop the standards for doing this. So examples here of this, we developed a standard, it was called MXF. We developed a format of it was called IMF. Netflix used it in order to have a way to create digital copies of their productions that they use that you can ultimately watch through streaming services. Basically in cinema, and this is something that very specific that Shane is involved in, they've developed various technologies that allow us to watch movies in any theater. And then really about the future of what's happening with storytelling, with digital media, now with AI is a great example. SMPTE is developing those standards for the future. So it's also about the people that are all involved in the organization. And we're a global organization, and one of the things that the available to be a member of SMPTE is it helps to be part of our general community, of our network. So, these are some of the various schools, around the country. But here in San Francisco, in addition to Jesse Bethel High School, we have De Anza College, which is in Cupertino, City College in San Francisco, San Francisco State University, Monterey Bay, Chabot College is joining us, and then various ones around the country.
So before you move on, let's go back to this one.
Go ahead.
Just wanted to connect to you guys with a little something. So there's a lot of schools here, right? Yeah. There's a lot of schools. So there's people just like you sitting in these schools wanting to connect to people, wanting to do projects. Maybe it's a project that you want to do. Maybe it's a project that you want to do. These are your connections. That's what SMPTE is. It allows us to be connected in a way that says, hey, you don't just call someone up saying, do you want to do a project? That's kind of like awkward. But you can call there and say, hey, can I talk to the SMPTE chapter? Hey, is there anybody that would like to do a project that has, interests in underwater apple squishing? Like, who knows, Like, if that's something that you're into, maybe there's someone at William Patterson's University who wants to do the same thing. You don't know. Point is, SMPTE is a group of people. It's not only a society for people to get together, but it's also a network, that you want to connect with, You can call someone over there and tell them, hey, I'm from this school. We're a high school. We got these things. What kind of projects you got going on? You can talk to them, because that's really going to be, for your tomorrow, is your network. That's the biggest thing that you can have, is build up a network of people across the country, right? And you have, and want to go to the next slide on that? I think there's even more schools. There's not only schools in the States, but there's schools around the world that you can connect with. And because you're a member of this, because you're part of this, they can take your call, right? So just wanted to kind of connect to that a little bit.
And I think that networking is something that can happen among different student chapters, or reaching out to professionals in the industry that are in SMPTE, but also inside your school. So what De Anza Community College, they're in Cupertino, they do, is they use their SMPTE chapter for the students to get together to talk about their film projects. So they're all responsible for various film projects. So they have their own Discord channel, so they use that like their Slack channel, or as their way of communication, texting back and forth. And then they get together with their SMPTE meetings, and they kind of go through where they are at on their film projects. Now that's internally. Now externally, for example, we have a student from De Anza that went to this school, CSU, Cal State University Northridge, which is a very, very good film program there. And he's now started a SMPTE chapter there. So as a result, we now have this communication back and forth between Cupertino and Northridge. And so it's a good way now they can reach out, because Hollywood can tell us a lot about the film industry, about the television industry, but the Bay Area can tell them a lot about Google, Apple, Meta, all these companies that are also developing digital media for the future. So I just thought that was kind of cool. By the way, there's a group called the Regional Virtual Production Academy. So if you went rvpa.net, you'd find it. But we have 5 schools in the Bay Area that are actually teaching virtual production today. And you can take courses at these different schools. You don't have to go to one. You can actually take courses at different schools and get certificates on virtual production in different aspects like Unreal Engine or green screen or LED technology, things like that. This is just an example. Chabot College is in Hayward, and they've just recently put in an LED wall so they can do virtual production with an LED wall as a background for them. Another example is that Cal State University actually has a website called Cal State CSU Entertainment Alliance. So if you looked at this website, you'll see that it's trying to combine the 23 campuses that are part of Cal State University with they have 180 media programs, film, TV, etc. But what's also cool here is there's a lot of information in there about things that are happening today, events, resources, and so on. So I invite you to check it out. And I'll give Ryan and Ralph copies of the presentation if you need to look up something later. And then this just happened this week. So this is the NAB show, National Association of Broadcasters. This show happened in Las Vegas. So I was there just to visit various vendor companies, what their equipment is, and so on, as well as to meet with my customers there. And we had students from De Anza and from also City College and also from State University, San Francisco, go to the show to explore the equipment on their own. One of the booths I thought was very interesting was the Blackmagic booth. So Blackmagic arranged all their different cameras with backgrounds for the customers to kind of try out. So these are kind of interesting places to kind of explore. We also have every year toward the fall, October, November kind of period. Generally it's been in Hollywood or Pasadena, and this is our own little trade show that we have. And again, we've had students go there to see the latest and some interesting things I could probably get into more discussion about. But this is a recent, what we just did at De Anza College, where we had someone come in and talk about how they merge art, dance, and things like that with virtual production. Gave examples of the kind of different places he's been. Wait, you were going to say something?
Yeah, let's jump into the questions and stuff. And
Okay. So, this was just the recent meeting we did over at Chase Center in San Francisco. So had a chance to kind of see what was happening. And these are some of the companies that are involved with SMPTE in general, and quite a few of them are right here in the Bay Area.
So let me add something to that. So one of the things that is important that we're trying to show here is that the SMPTE chapters that you belong to have a lot of events. And then we do a lot of different outreaches. We go into different areas, Staples Center, like we're here, we're talking to you guys. You can always join those events. If you find a way to go over there, call someone up, and go to the events, you can then build your network because there's a lot of people from all over the industry who are going to show up there. And maybe you just strike up a conversation with them. What you doing? Who are you? What do you do? What company do you work with? Because you never know where your next job might come from or your next opportunity to do a gig or to learn something from somebody. The point is that they're there and they're open to talk to you. You don't have to, you can just go up to them and talk and say, hey John, what's going on today? What do you do? I've never met you before. What company do you work with? Yeah. Well, I've met you a long time ago. But does that make sense? Yes. We're trying to show you that, hey, we're doing a lot of things with a lot of different people. It's not just a group that you belong to and you kind of just look at it online. It's get involved, right? You can actually go out in places and talk to people and ask questions that there's no bad question, right? There's no silly question. We all got started somewhere, I got started in DV shooting music videos and of like Andre Nicotina and stuff out in the Bay Area here. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff that can happen and you can go a long place. It's just, you all start somewhere. So it's all good. So.
And here's just some extras of things you can do. So you can go to the SMPTE portal, SMPTE.org, and join as a student member. So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing you can do is if you go to the SMPTE website, you don't even have to be a member. You can go and look at the student resources on the page. And there's quite a lot of information right there. You can join our Discord channel. So the Discord channel lets you connect with other students and also with professionals in the industry. So this is one that where we've had, as an example, students talking directly to someone who's an expert on IMAX, an expert on cinematography, some of the kind of questions that they might have about trying to get deeper into a subject. And then if you go and you look up Silicon Valley Video Summit, you'll find it on the website. You can see various videos that were all recorded in our recent meetings. So we've had this meeting going for the last 4 years. We had 1,000 in our last meeting. We had about 100 of which were students. It was held at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View. And there are recordings of all of the presentations.
So before you go off this, why do you think these things are important? Why do you guys think we're telling you about these kind of conferences and things like that? Like,
A week ago?
yeah, but why? Give it a guess. That's one, good, yes, yeah. You can still answer. Okay, that's good, yeah, that's true. I'll start picking people. There you go. How about you, what do you think?
So that we have like a platform on like and
Yeah, that's good. You're hiding, so I'm getting you treasure. What do you think? Why do you think we are showing you these conferences? I like putting people on the spot. Isn't that fun? For you.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Fair answer.
That's a good answer. That's okay.
That's a fair answer.
That is a fair answer.
Right?
Yeah.
And many of you might be in the same boat. Like, I have no idea. Why would we even want to go there? Like, well, we're showing you these because this is where people from all over, artists, people who own companies, people who have new technology, people who have an interest in using technology for their own storytelling purposes or for like use it in their job, they're all together. They all come together and they're wandering around there. And they got name tags and they got names of the companies they work for. That's kind of a cool situation. You can walk up to anybody and go, hey, John, I see you work at Telesys. What's Telesys? What does that do? That sounds like an interesting company. And he might take some time and talk to you about it. You might see another person who's got some artsy thing around their neck, and they're like, hey, what is that about? Oh, I'm making a documentary on such and such. Oh, really? Tell me about that. Do you need help? Are you looking for people to help work on your set or to do something? Oh yeah, in fact we are. Bang, opportunity. So we're telling you these things because this is where those people from all across the region, not only the technology people, but also the creatives and the artists, all gather together to mingle and to look at what's being introduced, what's new. So why also technology? Like, think about the technology. Why is it important to go to each of those booths? Well, because you're storytellers, right? Or you're engineers, or you're people in the world, and that's the new technology coming out. Aren't you interested in what's coming out for tomorrow? Some of the stuff hasn't even been released. So it's kind of neat to go up and talk to them, and they give you a little insight of what's coming out. Make sense? So these, even though they may seem kind of like, oh, well, how would I go to a conference? All these people walking around. It's kind of cool. You meet a bunch of different people, and there's all kinds of people, and you want to just go talk to them. Like, this is an opportunity where if you walked up to them in the middle of the street, hey, you want to talk? They'd be like, what, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me? But if you come here and you walk up to them, they'll be like, oh, hey, what's going on? I see your name too. Make sense? So these are opportunities for you, right? To get out there and also practice, right? It's also practicing talking to people, right? Which is, sometimes it's challenging, right? You don't know what to say. You don't know how you're going to be taken, that kind of thing. This is an opportunity to just go over there, and I tell students, I say, hey, bring me 10 names. They're like, 10 names? What does 10 names mean? Like, bring me 10 names. You go out there, I want you to meet 10 people. Just give me 10 names. And what do they do? Well, you know, talk to them about whatever. You can talk to them about your dog. You can talk to them about your vacation. You can talk to them about your walk to school. Talk to them about anything. Anything that you're interested in talk to them about it and see what they say. That's practice, right? Okay, sorry.
So they've actually recorded the videos from this year. So if you actually get to that site and you just hit this button, you'll be able to choose. And I remember one of the ones I thought was cool is they had the CTO, I guess, or CEO of LinkedIn. And he talked about, well, actually what they had is not him. They had an avatar of the CTO of LinkedIn. And they had the guy that developed the avatar. And it looked exactly like Reid Hoffman. And it talked just like, in fact, it sounded like Reid Hoffman. And so they had the AI representation of Reid Hoffman talk to the audience, and the audience asked him questions. My favorite question is, you know, what would be the difference of us asking you a question versus if we were talking to the real Reid Hoffman? I thought that was great.
So does everybody understand that?
He's very articulate.
Does everybody understand what happened? They basically trained a model on his voice, and they trained a model on his look, and basically allowed that to actually take questions in and answer the way he would normally answer. So they trained it on his like emails and all this kind of stuff. So kind of like way he responds, the way he says things, his intonations, maybe he pauses when he talks versus really talking really, really fast. And that AI was able to repeat kind of how he represent kind of how he talked. And that's something just programming a model. It's called a language model. And then among the videos, we do SMPTE workshops for students. And one of them that I thought was cool is about AI and what the impression from some professionals about what students need to know about AI if they're going into media as a job, as a career. So I'm going to switch this over to our friend Shane here. And Shane is, in addition to being the section chair of our SMPTE San Francisco section, he's also the Advanced Imaging Systems Creative Lead in the ATC group at Dolby. So I'm going to start by asking Shane, what is it you do? Tell us, please. Wow. Okay, so I work at Dolby, not Adobe, Dolby, the sound and movie company. I have a very interesting job, I will say. Any day, like right now, I'm leading the VR capture lab. I'm also leading our theater, which is a Dolby laser theater projector. I'm also head of post-production. And so I can shoot, edit, well, back up. Pre-production, write, produce. I was an executive producer at places. I can write, I can shoot, I can edit, I can capture VR lab, I can program in VR. A little bit of generative AI, it's okay, not so great. Learning a little bit of vibe coding, pretty good. But my job on it every day is to create content and to help develop the next generation of storytelling tools. Kind of cool. They gave me a long old title, which I'm like, really? Do I have to have like, can I just be creative lead? That's just like so much easier to say. And then my boss was like, no, this is important. You need to have this on your card. I'm like, all right, fine. I wrote my own job description. So when I was brought in, does everybody know what that means? I wrote my own job description. That means I had a job at Dolby, and they wanted to give me a different job, and then they asked me what I should do to describe it, right? Said, hey, can you describe all the things you'll do if we give you this other job? And I was like, okay. Usually you read a job description and you like see it's got a job description, and then you kind of say, hey, I can do this, this, and that. And then you go do the job. Well, they asked me to write it because even they had a little bit of a challenge of all the things that I can actually do for them. And the reason I'm saying that is that you can be just like that too. You can get into situations, it's not always where you have to follow exactly what the job description is. Once you get in there, they may find that you have other skills. And they're like, oh, you can do that too? You know animation? Really? I didn't know you knew animation. That's great. Maybe we can move you over here. Point being is, that advanced technology group is our research arm. So we're working on stuff that's going to come out in 5 and 10 years, right? And part of my job is to go create content in that, bridge over to Hollywood to see how the creators who would actually put that stuff into practice, how they may like react to it. So maybe we did this and they need to do this, like on a tool. That's kind of simplifying it, but maybe you want to do a certain thing, and I'm like, well, an editor wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want to have to talk to the whole thing because the person's talking to them. So how can I, if they're talking to them and you're talking to it, it's like, that's kind of an example. So that's my job, is basically help create content, help think about the future of technology in storytelling applications, and then kind of bridge the creative to the technical folks. So I can talk technical and I can talk creative, right? And that's really where I fit in. I'm kind of just right between them, just fit in there.
But specifically, if I look at an image, if I can go backwards here, I'll just say here. One of the things that Dolby has developed in the last few years that Shane was part of is high dynamic range and wide gamut color. And one of this was about taking our television image that we see and being able to show colors that we couldn't show on a TV set before or in a movie theater, and also to be able to show detail in the shadow area, detail in the brightness of an image that we couldn't reproduce before. And it means we can actually show things like, if you look at the wrapper on a gum or something and it's a red, before we couldn't quite get that color on a TV, and now we can, using this high dynamic range and wide color gamut. And these are the kinds of things that Dolby has developed and other companies have developed as technologies that improve our experience, and making something like television and film more immersive as experiences. So anyway,
and these things. And these things, right? These things in the laptops that you're working on. Does everybody know what high dynamic range is?
I don't.
No? So high dynamic range is basically, do you know what a nit is? Does anybody know what a nit is? Huh? There you go. So it's just, how do you measure light? Like if I was going to say, how bright is my hand here, and then how bright is my hand kind of back here, right? Those are two different brightnesses, right? And so how do you quantify that? Nit, it's actually candela per square meter, or per meter squared, but who likes to say that all the time? You just call it a nit. I mean, it's a lot easier just to say, that's 100 nits. Well, the old tube TVs, the old glass TVs that you see, kind of like when you see old stuff, it's like a tube TV. Those were 100 nits, right? And so that light above you is probably at like 400 nits right now. Outside's probably like 280 nits coming through the window. And so if that was only 100 nits, that's why nothing looked real. Nothing really looked real when you looked at it on a TV. These new TVs didn't have a limit that way. They're kind of limited by the technology in them. You can get them up to 400 or 500. I think this is 1,200 nits or 1,600 nits, one of the two, right? 1,600 nits. So why would you need 1,600 nits? Well, this isn't very bright, right? This isn't a very bright room, but you've got like 400 or 500 nits above you in multiple places. And you got another, probably 300 nits coming in through the window. So to recreate even dark areas accurately, you kind of need a lot of nits, right? That doesn't mean you're going to use them all at one place. But anyway, I've been doing that since 2010. I'm a handful of people that's been grading and working in HDR, telling stories and developing that storytelling paradigm for about, 15 years? Something like that? So somewhere in that range. So HDR is kind of an interesting thing. It's on your laptops. I'm not sure if it's in every laptop yet. It's in a bunch. Just means a wide dynamic range and a very, very tall dynamic range. So 0 nits to like 10,000 nits. That's the container. If you tell a story in that, you're working in HDR.
So let me go back then. Let me ask you, how did you get into the film, television industry in the first place?
I was a DJ when I was 12 to 21. I was a DJ. Mix and scratch and render 5 turntables, just like early days. I'm old. I'm 55. I'm like we're talking about when Grandmaster Flash came out, like first rap, first hip hop stuff come out. I got my start in that. Who's that? Oh, that's someone else talking. All right. And so I was mixed and scratching, and I was like really enamored. And this is when MTV started coming out too. MTV just announced, like the first music videos came out. Yeah, I'm that old. first music videos, I'm like, I'm already making my own music. Now I want to make my own videos for that own music so I can make it. I'm just like thinking, holy cow, I want to be able to mix this together and like just do this thing. And so I was like, I really want to get into just doing this. And so went to college. I was probably going to be a soccer player. I had full ride to first taught soccer and tennis. And then I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I want to get into, I think I want to get into some creative arts. So I got a real job. And I started saving up money to get a camera, right? Because I was like, I need to make some money. I got to have some money to buy some stuff to do this thing. And so as I got a real job, started making money, I started doing music videos. Worked with the likes of folks in this area. You can actually go look up Andre Nicotina, go look up The Gift, you'll see my name, director. And I've interviewed a lot of people out in this area. And so I started shooting music videos, free, gave it away. I started asking people to get on their sets. I'd get on sets, work for free. Then someone's like, hey, I saw your stuff. How much do you charge? I'm like, charge? I'm $1,000 a day. And you get, you get camera and you get edit, and you can get a music video for $1,000. Okay, full day shoot, full day edit. They're like, that's reasonable. I'm like, I can make money doing this. Holy cow. So I started doing that. And at one point, I saw an advertisement out in the industry, and it said, hey, looking for a rainmaker. Rainmaker is someone who brings the money, right? Brings in the clients and stuff like that. And it was a studio in San Francisco. And so I went and I just applied for it. And I had already had management experience. Won't get into that boring stuff, but I had 60 employees, 5 managers. And so I had management experience. But this person wanted me to go out and do sales, and I had a lot of sales experience too. So this was a studio in San Francisco, did sound and post-production for the advertising agencies. So I interviewed with him. He said he couldn't give me the job. I said, I understand. 2 weeks later, I get a call from his secretary saying, hey, can you come in and sell us to us? Because, he kind of liked your vibe. And I was like, sure. I come in, I sell myself to them. They were impressed, and he calls me back 2 weeks later saying, if I don't give you the job, my staff's going to quit. So I was like, okay, I'll take the job. And that was my first job in the industry, just as an executive producer, studio producer for sound and pictures and post-production. And what that job is basically you're just calling people, asking them if they need services. You're calling, and then you go out and make sure that if you do get a job, bless you, if they do get a job, that makes sure that relationship stays good, right? And then about a year later, my boss called me and says, hey, bring me a name. What name, Bill? He said, the name of your company. I was like, I don't have a company, Bill. I work for you. And he said, well, I'm going to fire you, but I'm going to hire you back as an independent producer because you're really good at this, and I'll pay you more money, and I'll teach you how to be an independent producer. And I'm like, all right, I'll bring you a name. So I brought him my name, and he put me into work for myself. And one of my first questions to him was, well, what camera should I buy? And he looked at me and he goes, doesn't matter. It's not about the camera. It's about the story. And I was like, wow. So what camera should I buy? And he's like, and then, we started having a conversation about it. But it was a real conversation, So that's how I got my start. We've got 20 minutes left. I would like to get to questions. Do you have any interesting questions?
Well, my next thing was going to ask if someone in the audience had a question for Shane or me.
Don't make me pick.
Yeah, there's
Go
a
for
question there.
A couple of questions.
Uh-oh.
Is ChatGPT in it?
Yeah, one good question. So, you talked about how, there's advancing technology, right? And where, you're experimenting with them.
Huh?
What do you believe AI role in media, in, the processing and automation? Do you think it should have a heavy role in it, or do you think it should have a lighter role?
What role am I taking for this answer? Am I taking a business owner? Am I taking an artist who may be put out of work? Am I taking the company who's sponsoring the AI development? Which role am I going to take to answer that question?
Let's say the SMPTE. okay, you're a person in this organization. What is your opinion on the thing? Like, do you think it's great that we have this technology, or do you think, well, do we really want? Is it like, does your passion in doing this like go over the role of AI?
I have an opinion about it that it is coming, right? It's like being angry at the sun for rising. You know, am I going to be angry at the sun for rising because it's ruining my sleep? No, I can't be angry at it, right? So I have a choice. I either understand it and try to put myself in a situation to benefit from it or to at least work within it, or I can try to fight it. You know, I can like throw stuff at the sun, you know. You know, you can try to fight it, and maybe that's okay. Let's talk about AI. If you want to fight AI and you say, hey, I don't think it should be out there, and you want to go out protest and all that, hey, that's your gig. You know, that's what you should do. Do what you believe in that area. Me, I would say I'm looking forward to it when it can actually do things that I don't like doing, right? And that allows me to do things that I really like doing. So how do I position myself in doing that? How do I, what would be required? You know, I would look at it that way. You know things are coming down the line. So do I think it's a good thing? No. Do I think it's a bad thing? No. I don't think it's either one. I think it's a thing that we have to deal with. And I think at your level, right now being the age level, not any other level, just your age and where you are in the industry, you have a certain thing that you can do right now to position yourself, right? That is, learn how to learn how to unlearn, and learn how to relearn quickly, very quickly.
I want to see if I can kind of add on to that as well. Think about like how basically musicians used to have a full band and recording studio to be able to record an album. Just like now in the movies, you need all these different people, the sound people and actors and all that stuff. But right now with maybe AI as well as a laptop and electronic music, you can essentially record a whole album using AI and using just your camera, so more people can create things with just their laptop. So there's more stories. Or you can make almost an entire movie just from AI generated stuff. So you're letting potentially more people tell stories without needing a whole production.
That is definitely one use case, and I would go a step further. You can learn to program it. You can learn to do it. There's free courses online. I know you got teachers here that are teaching it. You should definitely learn that stuff. Learn ML. Learn language. What that stuff means. What is AI? There's all kinds of it. The generative AI. There's language models. What do they do? Comfy UI. Anybody know what Comfy UI is? COMFY UI? Go look up Comfy UI, right? Comfy UI. And there's a really good thing on Vimeo, Kuko. There's a really cool video. Go look that up. What is that? It's like how to program AIs, different AIs. You can learn that stuff for free. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, because that's today's technology. Tomorrow's technology is going to, flip you into something even more advanced. So everybody come back, just write it down and go look at it.
No, I think they're online with Comfy AI right now.
I know, Comfy UI, COMFY UI. Right? That's just an advanced programming language that just allows you to program your generative AI stuff into a way that you can control it and make it do cool things. And how much does it cost to learn?
Yeah,
and is it going to be used in technology and storytelling? Yeah, it's already being used. And that gives, it doesn't cost you anything to go learn it, but what it does is it'll give you a paradigm in your head. It'll give you a way of thinking about stuff, and then something new comes on, you add that in. Something new comes along and says, oh, well, this is totally different. I need to get rid of that one and think about this. The challenge you guys faced that we didn't face when we grew up was that we understood what we had to learn, and it was very clear what we had to learn. The new technologies are coming out so fast that part of your strength is going to be able to learn things, learn to get rid of it, and learn new things, right? Very quickly. Because we have to learn every day. When you're done with work or we're done with school, that's when learning starts. Like the hard learning, right? This is preparing you for going out there. I read every day. I was not a fan of books when I was growing up. Was not a fan. Now I am. Why? Because it gives me an advantage. It's to my advantage if I read, right? And I want the advantage, right? So knowledge is power. Power is money. All that kind of fun stuff. If you don't want that, great. Tell your stories, do your things, be you. But if you want that stuff, you need knowledge. And the knowledge is out there. It's there. But it takes you to be ready to get it in. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to be able to, okay, do I like to read on my phone, or do I like to read on a laptop? Do I like to read books? You guys need to figure that out for yourself. I like a little bit of all. I like to listen on my phone, audiobooks, and I like to read actual books because I can just sit down and just, it takes me a minute to get settled in because I'm all jittery and everything. I'm like, okay. And then I'm in it, right? And now my mind's just, I'm somewhere else. That's kind of fun.
Well,
okay.
I have an extra answer. So my answer is, you are lucky. That's my answer.
That is true.
And the reason I say that is right now AI is new enough that it's a tool, and so you can do, like you were mentioning, like things that you don't want to do, right? So you can use AI right now, and it's still at a level of a tool. Not sure what the future will be, but for the moment, it's fantastic, and it's exploding. There's a gentleman named Chappie who started a group called the AI Collective. He started it in San Francisco in his apartment back in 2023, so that's 3 years ago. And he now has 150,000 members in 80 countries. So it's like, this thing is like exploding. So it's a really interesting time to get involved, watch it, join a hackathon. I joined a hackathon last year. And it was great. They gave us all a bunch of credits so that we could use 20 different AI programs for creating video, audio materials. And it was kind of mind-blowing. And we had a movie done within a couple hours. So now's a good time to explore it. The other side of my answer is, it's another reason it's important to understand the basics. And when I say the basics, it's like, what makes good audio? Putting the microphone right with you, not just leaving it back where the camera is, right? Or having the light in front of you rather than just having light behind you. Things like that are very basic to making good picture, making good audio, making good story. If you know that, then you can make AI work for you, and you'll understand what you're trying to achieve and what it's giving you. So I think it'll be even more important to understand that rather than letting the phone do the work for us, or the camera do the work for us.
I want to jump on top of that a little bit.
Okay.
What does every good story have?
A lot.
Okay. What else? Inside the plot. Good characters? Challenges? Climax? Right? Yeah. Right? It's drama. Comedy, drama, action. There's human conflict. There's human interaction. Right? The human condition. Does everybody understand what that word is, or that phrase is? The human condition. That means if I'm trying to get you to relate to me, I need to understand what it means to relate to me so that I can craft the reaction in you. Right? I need to be able to craft a reaction in you. So that means I need to understand you. I need to understand the human condition. You're human. At least most of us are. I may not be. I'm still debating. But just saying, you need to understand that. So why is psychology important? It tells you about humans. Why is philosophy important? It tells you how to think. Clarifies your thinking. Why are these other subjects important? Because storytellers need to understand, and they need to be able to take in vast amounts of information in order to really craft that reaction and make you laugh. Right? They need to know what makes you tick. right? So that's not just something easy. And so there's value in information. There's value in understanding other people, right? I know we get pushed so hard to separate ourselves, right? And this is a little on the edge here. It's very easy for us to get pushed and want to separate from other people and connect with only people you know and like and all that kind of stuff. I would say try to expand. That's your network, right? These are the places that you go. These are your networks. You can go out and meet people you'd never talk to in a million years. You can find out their personality. You can find out what makes them laugh. You can just have a conversation with them, and that'll give you perspective. And when you're telling a story, and that story may be involved with something like someone going to a conference, you might have some insight. Get yourself out there. Talk. Most people, if you just walk up to them and smile and say, hey, how's it going? Most people will be like, hey, how's it going? What's up? You know? So keep that in mind. If you're storytellers, you really need to understand so many different kinds of people, because those are the people you're telling the stories to, and you're trying to craft those reactions in them to get them to understand you, right? It's not just how you say it, right? People think storytelling, oh, I'm going to have my own voice. Yeah, kinda. You can do that if you want to be heard by one little tiny sliver, and maybe that's okay. But if you want more people to understand what you're saying, you need to understand how to say it to them. Now, is that unauthentic? Is that inauthentic? No. It's you communicating how you feel to those people and what you mean to those people, that story to those people. And what do you need to have that? You need to have a very good point of view, many different points of view, perspective, right? That's it, your point of view and your perspective. That camera is going to be looking around, talking to people and communicating to things. And I'm assuming everybody's in media, right? Is everybody in media? Or is there other computer science stuff? There's media.
If you're in media, raise your hand.
Media. Who's interested in media?
If interested in media, raise your hand.
Meaning like arts and media, that kind of
Media,
things.
okay.
Okay.
If you're not interested in
yeah,
media.
I know. So engineering. Who's doing the engineering side?
Engineer, okay.
Okay.
All right.
What is other people? Who didn't raise their hand yet?
This group.
So what are you in? Why are you here? Not because I don't mind. I'm saying why are you here? Yeah.
Photography.
Photography.
Is media.
Okay. Photography. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So we've got about 8 or 10 more minutes. Any other questions from you guys?
Yeah. Go on.
What are some crazy you facing in your career? I mean, what are some challenges you face in your career?
Crazy challenges.
Getting a job.
When I started working for myself, I had a really good mentor. I looked at a lot of different stuff. I loved learning. I didn't know I liked learning till I started to learn on my own. Right? Then I was like, oh wow. You mean I can just sit here for this long and I get this thing and I can keep it forever? That's kind of cool. I was more into sports. I was our starting center forward. I was our starting point guard, and I was number 1 tennis. So I did not think about books and stuff, and unless it was about soccer or tennis or some kind of thing. And so, but when I got out, I was like, wow, I'm against now. It's me against all of this. So how do I prepare myself? How do I beef up and do this thing? And it's with knowledge. So I started just eating it up. I went to school 9 years, man. From after high school, 9 years. I changed my 3 years in computer science, and then I changed to philosophy, and I doubled in law and society. Now I'm a creative. But knowledge became what I wanted, right? Because I knew I would take that with me. No one could take it away. It's mine. And I could do with it what I wanted. Creativity is just recombining what you know. So if you want to be creative, you need to know a bunch of stuff. Right? Random stuff. There's 4 golf balls on the moon. Why do I know that? I don't know. I used to read these really random books of, things. right? So some of the challenges were I used to have to make 10 to 20 calls every day when I started my company, my production company. Calling, no work. But I made the 10 calls every day, 10 calls medium, 20 calls hopefully to get to 20 every day. Hey, how you doing? You know, I'd have a little, I'd talk, hey Sally, how you doing? How's the kids? Oh yeah, Jim and John, yep, the dog's going, you guys go out this weekend? Oh no, okay, cool. I'm just seeing if you got any other work for me. No? Okay, well, you guys have a good one. Take care and I'll give you a call next week, see what's going on. Next call. Right? Getting my name out there. Practicing. It was hard. Sometimes you're like, dang, man, like, no one wanted to give me a job, you know? But I kept at it, you know? And I remember my first phone call. I got, like, like I was always making the calls and getting the, oh yeah, come on down, that kind of thing. I actually started getting calls at that point. And it took 6 to 8 months before I got that first phone call. So it didn't matter to me though. Because it didn't matter that it took 6 months. It didn't matter that it took a year. It didn't matter it took 5 years. It's like if you're going to go to the store, does it stop you that, oh, you got a flat tire? No, still got to go to the store. Does it stop you that you got a barrier that you can't turn right because they're doing road construction? No, you're just going to go left because you're going to the store, right? And then you maybe got to walk and you get around and there's a little barrier and I got to walk this way. If you set your destination, it don't matter. That's what you focus on. That's why it's important to set a destination, to set something. It doesn't matter. Because you're going to get there when you get there. And that's okay. It's okay. You get there when you get there. And if you can find things to get there quicker, are you going to take them? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Depends on how you feel that day. But if you want to get there, you keep that in mind. Maybe the next thing you find that gets you there quicker, maybe you'll do that. And then when you see how much quicker it gets you, maybe you're like, whoa, wait a minute, if I just keep doing these kind of things, I get there faster? I'll keep doing those things. And I'll tell you what, more about it is, the more information you put inside your head, the better off you're going to be. So it doesn't need to be cool, it doesn't need to be fun. Doom scrolling is so good, but that isn't going to get you to where you really want to be, to where now you can sit on the beach and doom scroll. Now you can sit back on your boat or wherever you want to go, or just a paid off house, or just whatever you want. Whatever you think is successful, you can be in that. Then you got time. Right now, I still don't have time for that. I like doing it though. But, you know, it's fun, but because it gets me away from all the responsibilities I'm doing. But I take my responsibilities serious. I get them done. And then, you know, I pay myself to have fun. You know what I mean? All right, any other questions?
Yeah, two quick. Well, he asked one before. You haven't asked a question yet, so you go first. Which question?
How do you know filmmaking was the right career for you?
I didn't. I didn't. Exactly. Right? I didn't know it was my career, but I got some really good advice along the way. I had some really good teachers and I had some really good mentors. Number one, I had mentors. I had people that I looked up to and talked to. And they said, it doesn't matter what you do. Do it to become an expert. And I mean this. It doesn't matter what you do. Do whatever you're picking and become an expert at that, because that journey will teach you so much about what's required to be an expert at it. And that's what you want, because you realize that once you've developed a certain set of skills to become an expert, you can become an expert in anything. And it's not that hard. It's just sitting down, testing yourself, reading the material, testing yourself. Do I understand this? Going to do it, practical engagement. Am I doing it? Do you need anybody to tell you you can go shoot a movie? Do you need anybody to tell you can go write a program? Do you need anybody to tell you go build a house or build a table or something? Do you need someone to tell you you can do that? That's life.
There was a question from the back of the room.
Yeah.
There.
What's
What's one mistake that both of you guys have made in your guys' career, and how'd you overcome it?
Said I'm sorry. Right? Get a name wrong, get an order wrong, do something that's just not right. You tell a client that, you get in an argument over something, right? And you make a mistake. You look it back and you go, that was kind of dumb. You own up. You own up. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry, I was wrong. I thought about it, I was wrong. What can I do to make it better? That's power. When you can just own up to your mistakes and you can get over it and not just, get behind ego and you let that go, that's power, that's freedom. Because that person will respect you. And maybe they will, maybe they won't, but they'll respect the fact that, I've gotten more jobs that I was not qualified for because they understood who I was. Seriously. They knew I would figure it out if I didn't know, and they know they can count on me saying, I don't know that, but let me go try to figure it out. I wasn't trying to hide behind anything. Because the person, they need to know they can count on you, and part of being counted on is knowing when you're not up to the moment. That doesn't mean you're not qualified. It just means that you're not up to that moment or that skill, that little thing, that moment, but you've got everything else. And that's okay, because most people can work with that. What they can't do is you tell them you've got the skill and then you don't perform and then it screws everything up. You say, hey, I can get you at 80%. Right? And that's in personal life, and that's in all stuff. I make it a point to try not to lie to anybody.
We have 1 minute, and we have one last question here.
Yeah.
Real quick, this is so I'm kind of new to this club.
Okay.
And I was wondering, how could we as high schoolers make an impact in SMPTE? What is the biggest thing we could do?
Oh, that awesome question.
Make an impact in yourself. Bring that to SMPTE. When you look at a relationship, are you always looking at what that person's bringing to you or what you're bringing to them? I'd say it's more important to figure out what you're bringing to them. Because when you know what you need and what you want, you know if that person's good for you or not. Whether it's a friend, anything like that. But you need to start with you. And I mean that in business, I mean that in personal life, I mean that in school. Start with you. You're always there. It's easy to work on you. Right? You're always around. And will you ever know what that person thinks? You'll only know what they do. So get good at doing things. Learn how to respond. It's your one responsibility to know how to respond. And the more adept and more wide that you can learn how to respond to things, the better off it is for you.
All right.
Bring that to SMPTE. Bring that to anywhere you go. You'll be better for it.
What's next?
All right, everyone, that concludes the meeting or the event for the guest speakers. What's next is our student chapter meeting, which is an informal meeting. We'll hang out right here and grab some pizza.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for having us. All right? All right, man.
Thanks.
Ugh.
Huh? Okay.
You guys enjoy it? Good. Good. I hope so, man. That's you guys you're set. You guys learn fast. I don't learn as fast as I did when I was your age. I learned so much faster when I was your age.
Get the hell back. You didn't even do your job today.
That's the vice chair.
Haven't seen this yet.
I thought it was.
Okay. Do you know this one? Already connected? Oh no, I'm still second. Okay, so this. Where is it? They changed it. Go here. It used to be you could just click and you get, or maybe they moved it to that one. Yeah, just didn't you hit connect? There we go. Why not? Right, try the other one. And open yours.
Not like, hey, what can you give it?
There you go. Thank you.
I had a question I wanted to ask, but I didn't get a chance. What would you say is the most overlooked part of your profession?
What is the what?
What is the most overlooked part of your profession?
Overlooked. Well, right now, in the sort of the industry, the engineering, the technical part, whatever, is where I keep seeing people trying to find. There are jobs that I can't find people to fill those jobs. So in the film, television, blah 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 industry, a lot of people want to be like behind the camera, or they want to be the director or whatever. Nobody wants to fix the camera. And so as a result, right now I know like at different colleges they're trying to find someone to take charge of the film department equipment or the AV equipment, that kind of stuff. So right now I think that's a very overlooked area. In my association, because we're volunteers, we don't have enough people to do all the things that would allow us to expand. So the problem is, how do you invest in that? That's an interesting problem. So good question. Ask Shane for see what his answer is. But I'm definitely seeing the gap there about, right? You know, the technical people, and yet a lot of the new technologies are coming out of the Bay Area.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Because it requires structure.
Oh.
Don't bring half-assed, bring everything.
I should be able to make it home, or definitely could meet you at Silver Lake otherwise.